I'm so tired of watching I got transported to another world and was transformed into a toilet seat for girls to sit on. Oh, what's this anime? Oh damn, this is actually pretty nice. This is actually the first mentally sane anime I've seen so far.
I'll let you suckle my teats, boy. If you let me gobble your dog.
I knew it. It was too good to be true. This is Dandadan, another mentally insane anime. We get introduced to the main cast who for some reason is dating this bum, like how most girls do. This bum tries to use the worst pickup line this generation has seen. An old girl tries to kick his head off for it, but dude activates his domain expansion called equality and kicks her away. He then walks off like he's constipated while girl over here is barking like a dog. Alright, pretty sane so far, right? In class though, she gets made fun of by her friends, which one of them looks like something I see in my nightmares. The main girl likes Ken, whoever that is, an actor who's been in the grave for many years. She walks past a classroom and sees the most pathetic guy in anime being bullied. And with every anime trope, the most pathetic guy usually gets all the girls. So she goes in to defend him from these guys who look exactly like the guy she's defending. After that, she leaves and walks off like a constipated person, in which this dweeb is like, I know you like me. Huh? I said I know you like me. Like bro got full of himself after getting some random girl to defend him. This brother decides to ruin his chance of getting laid by talking about the most nerdy stuff and showing her this lizard looking thing. And as expected, bro successfully scares off the girl, but he gets more desperate and begins harassing her. In the end though, he just gets flamed by the girl and gets left looking like he's about to become the next Light Yagami. I don't care about pain anymore, headass. But since he's the main character, the plot armor brings the girl back to him and picks his book up like, I don't believe in aliens, but I do believe in ghosts. What? There's no such thing as ghosts. Yes guys, this anime is not a fever dream. This is a real anime that someone decided to make. So these two begin arguing about their beliefs. This led to them going to separate haunted places. Our boy here goes to this tunnel and girl here goes to a haunted place. Both of these guys have no survival instinct cause I would have just agreed to disagree. While this girl is in this abandoned hospital, which guy says, you're bound to get abducted by one. The guy though heads to this dark tunnel and fully seals his fate when he steps in, as this girl begins using irrelevant backstory no jutsu, which I don't really care about. Our brother here finds bloody footsteps, and this would have been the moment I ran out of the tunnel cause no. Buddy turns back to find this old lady who says, I'll let you suck on my melons if you let me gobble your dog. Nah, what the hell did we just encounter? Yo, run. The girl on the phone is like, don't run. But nah, I'm not stopping. This guy's like, that was no ghost. That was just a horny ass old lady who's about to brutally touch me. The granny suddenly sprints and catches up to him in a flash, in which he begins getting brutally diddled. Rest in peace, whoever that was. Yeah, that was the main character, and his name was literally never mentioned. The girl begins worrying and tries to get to the boy, but suddenly sees three deformed inbreds behind her. She begins running but is quickly caught and put into this weird contraption. She finds out that these are aliens. Where are my clothes?
Don't worry, we have handled your belongings with care.
These crazy aliens begin explaining that they're about to do the mommy and papa activity, and this guy shows his tool, which, oh my lord, who let this anime cook? These aliens begin talking about Banana as they attempt to force her to submit, but suddenly there's a phone call.
Man, who the hell is calling? Can you tell she's busy, little bro?
But a foot appears and kicks him in the face, and this monster begins crawling out of the phone. Turns out that it's diddling Granny, who sends the alien flying. The Granny possessed the main character after stealing his dog. He announces that he's gonna devour everyone's banana, but this alien reveals his true form, which makes me think I'm in a crazy dream. Before the alien can do anything, the Granny tackles his ass and smashes him into the ground, then begins gnawing on his banana. Other alien becomes angry and smashes him into the wall. As he's getting smashed into the wall, he begins acting like a loser. The alien though resumes trying to do the no-no to the girl, but this girl is also the main character, so she activates paw armor and gets up and kicks the alien. She kicks him so hard that it sends him flying. The entire place begins breaking down, but the guy suddenly tries to eat the girl. She manages to free the boy, but Granny shows up and explains that she's gonna keep his dog until the girl defeats her. The guy is now running on the ground like he's brain dead. After this stuff happened, they manage to escape and become friends. Guy here suddenly says, put on your clothes or I get hard, which has this girl blushing. That's one of Ken Koenigi's line. She asks old boy for his name, and turns out that dude is also named Ken, with the same exact last name. After this, they become pretty close, but since Granny has access to his power, the girl has to use her new powers to control him. I gotta point out the beautiful animation and art, cause this is where the budget for your favorite anime has gone to, guys. After this, she pretty much takes old boy home, and as he attempts to enter, he suddenly gets set on fire. Both of them are confused as she throws Ken into the water, saving him. She realizes that there was a barrier up, and explains it to to Ken. Ken is scared, so he nudges towards the entrance and safely makes it in. But this girl begins roasting him about his granny hair, which makes him embarrassed. Okay, I just looked up the girl's name, which is Ayase. They get into the house and Ayase begins changing. Ro tries to leave to give her some privacy, but instantly returns when Granny begins possessing him. Since Ayase has to always be there to suppress him, he can't really do much by himself. After getting thrown into a wall, he begins getting really depressed, but freaks out when Ayase asks about his dong. Ken is like, hell nah, I don't even have a dong anymore. Ken becomes randomly sad and goes on a long rant that doesn't really matter. Ayase approaches like, don't worry, I wanted to go on this adventure with you. But this brother Ken responds by saying, Bambaclock. And they get into a fight, but they suddenly hear this scary doorbell. Ayase says that big ass motherfreaker is definitely not a human. They become shocked when the entire place turns into a death trap. Ayase tries to put the talisman back, but Ken explains that he's gonna get cooked since he has nowhere to run. Suddenly, their noses begin bleeding, and Ayase looks up to see this big guy who tries to crush them. The obese guy sends them flying against the building and realize that they might have to fight the CGI obese guy. After dodging his Elder Ring boss attack, Ken begins randomly explaining the entire American lore. Obese guy discovers them, so they run off to a different place. But Ken here is about to transform, as Ayase is like, damn, let me hold back your powers. But Ken finally grew some balls and says, let me cook, I'm the main character. Obese guy shows up and rips the place off. Ro convinces Ayase to stop being a mom and begins unlocking his granny mode. Doesn't sound very cool, but he manages to save both of them, and now looks like a futuristic hippie. Feeling pretty gloomy, yo. He approaches the obese guy, and as the obese guy smashes Ken in, he rips off the obese guy's fingers. Ayase is rooting for bro, but as he's looking like a badass, he suddenly coughs up blood and gets smashed into the ground. Ayase saves him, but he begins whining. Like, does he not realize that he has plot armor? These guys look at the obese guy, and he begins getting into his sumo stance. Ayase realizes that this goofy ass anime makes no sense, so they decide to play by sumo rules as well. They sprint at the obese guy, and Ken blasts forward and knocks his legs out. Ayase pulls him forward, and as obese guy is dying, he spawns legs out of nowhere and sends Ayase into a wall. He then makes sure to give her brain damage. Ayase decides to carry the team, and as she's getting beat on, she pulls Ken towards her so they can get beat up together. She puts the talisman back, which saves them and returns them back to the normal world. As Ayase tries to relax, Ken begins turning. Bruh, aren't you supposed to be the main character? She suddenly feels dizzy and passes out, which causes Ken to turn anyways. He then begins touching the miner and lifts her up, but Chris Hansen appears and sends him into the water. It's Ayase's grandma, who looks damn hella bad. Granny tries to blitz her, but just ends up getting folded. Old lady here pretty much kills the granny and Ken. And when Ayase wakes up that her hog grandma killed Ken, she runs out of the shack and finds that Ken is still alive. Ken is so happy to see her, and she's like, damn, why is he still alive? And begins kicking the door. Her grandma suddenly appears and begins asking questions. Granny here goes on for a 10-minute rant. After that, Ken really needs to poop really badly, but these girls really want to watch, so they begin chasing him into the house and watches him use the toilet. As Hog Granny tries to go on another long rant, Evil Granny shows up to save us and begins saying that if Ayase doesn't show up, she's gonna fully eat Ken's dong. Evil Granny disappears and Ayase explains the entire thing to her grandma, who dresses them up into fancy clothes. Ayase tries to ask for help, but Hog Grandma can't, cause I don't know, so they head off to throw down with this granny. This anime is so bad that it's good. Let me know if you guys want me to cover the new episodes. Leave a comment and make sure to drop a follow on Instagram.